Hello gamers, welcome to Tips from Jonobrow. This is Tips from Jonobrow Trials Fusion Part 1. This is where I'll show you how to complete some of the challenges in Trials Fusion, starting with the first area, Greenhorn's Grove, and the first map, which will be Turbine Terror. For 3 challenges in Turbine Terror: Slick Flipping, Nice and Calm, and Unyielding 1. So in the first challenge, Slick Flipping, you're going to have to do 10 flips in a 0 fault run. You can see there's a couple of easy ramps on this. This one, not too difficult. There's plenty of ramps throughout the level which you can do. This is just showing you how you can do it. You can get a double jump off, or double spin off some of the ramps, like that one there and this one. You do have to do 1 double spin, I think, because I do believe there's only 9 ramps. However, it's not a difficult challenge. You can see here, though I do almost lose it, you do have to do it in 0 faults, which means if you do fall you have to go back to the start. Just need to keep a count on the number of spins you do, because you don't get the challenge until the end of the map. I think this is my last one. This is 10 spin here, so I mess up the landing slightly, but don't have to worry about any more jumps. Didn't even do one on the last ramp, and as soon as you cross the finish line you'll get. For the second challenge, Nice and Calm, you have to find the hidden switch, and it's right at the start of the map. If you jump off this ramp and bail, you have to catch the crane here, and the crane will carry you over to the button, and when you hit the button you'll get the challenge, and that will turn off all of the turbines in the level. The last challenge in Turbine Terror is Unyielding 1, which requires you to complete a 0 fault run without leaning. So at the start here you want to just tap the accelerator and carefully go over that first ramp. Don't even touch the accelerator on the down ramp, just when you're going up this ramp here. You really only want to use the accelerator when you're going up a ramp, rather than when you're just going along. You want no acceleration there. Accelerate up this ramp. You can use braking to control yourself in the air. If you throttle then brake, you'll move over. So with these ramps, you see I'm just throttling it then braking it. Just try to bring the bike round. This is a difficult challenge. You want, like I say, just mainly use the accelerator when you're going up a ramp and use the braking in the air. I took a little bit of time here, just set myself up for the next jump, and carefully went over, use brake. You want to try and land as flat as you can for most of the jumps, so you're not bouncing around as much. This one's a difficult jump. You need to use the braking and throttling to make sure you're set up for the next jump. Then it's pretty much a case of just being careful with the jumps. You have to just land properly, and you'll find it's quite easy. You can just throttle it all the way to the end there, and you'll get the Unyielding 1 challenge. Second track is Waterworks, and the 3 challenges in Waterworks: Full Throttle 1, Greenhouse Effect, and Endo Guru. Full Throttle 1, quite an easy challenge. You need to complete the track with holding down the accelerator. So at the start here I'm going to actually make a couple of mistakes. Just getting up that first ramp I kept letting go of the accelerator, but you pretty much, it's a very easy challenge. You just need to control yourself on the jumps, make sure you're landing properly. You can see I actually did slow myself down there. You can do it if you just take your back wheel off the ramp slightly towards the end of it. You will slow down a little bit on ramps, make sure you don't jump too far. Other than that, it's just making sure you land properly on the ramp so you're not bouncing around too much. It helps when you learn how the level goes when it's moving around like that. Other than that, it is a very simple challenge, this one, when you get used to it, and like I say, it's just about controlling yourself with the leaning, and you'll get to the end and get the Full Throttle 1 challenge. Second challenge, Greenhouse Effect. You need to find and destroy all the plants in the levels. You see there's one at the start there, and if you go back, I did it all in one run. I don't think you have to though, but you go back, there's the plant that starts, go carefully down this ramp here, there's one there, and hit that with my back wheel there. Then it's no other plants for a long way into this track, so just complete the track as you normally would. I say you don't have to do it in one go. You can fault and carry on. In fact, there's one where it's very difficult, so you probably will fault a couple of times on it. Get to the jump here, and there's actually a plant just before there, so you can easily miss that one. Just hit that, carry on, and the difficult plant is the last one. There's only 4 in the level. This one is underneath that rock. However, if you hit that rock, it will fall down on you, so you need to bunny hop over the rock without hitting it. I'm going to fail a few times here, but essentially you more than likely hit it with your back wheel more than anything else. When you eventually do get it, which I believe I'll get, not this one but the next one, when you do Nope. There we go. Finally jumped over it. You then just need to reverse back into the plant, and when you do, the rock will fall on you and you'll get the challenge. The final challenge is Endo Guru, which requires you to hold an endo for 30 meters, and this is the ramp where you're going to want to do it, and I find the best way to do it is not to use the brake, but to just use the lean, to lean forward and get the front wheel over, and then use the leaning stick to control yourself. The third track is Observatory, and the first challenge in Observatory is Proficient Flipping, which is very similar to the slick flipping in the first track. You need to complete 10 flips without faulting, so at the start you can get an easy double flip in there. Double flip slightly more important in this track, I think, than in the first one. There's fewer ramps where you can get decent flips off of it. You can see there I've got 4 already. This bit you can't really get any flips at all unless you're really risking it. You can get 1 flip off here before you go up here onto the ramp, and you'll get 1, maybe 2 flips onto that one. These ramps here you can get more flips off. You can get 1 or 2. An easy double flip on that one, probably even a triple you could get there. Another one you can get 1 or 2 flips off, so towards the end it gets a lot easier to do multiple flips, and this will be my 10th flip I'm doing there, so I'll go over the line and get Proficient Flipping. A much more difficult challenge, however, is Wormholing. Right at the start of the track you're going to want to drop slowly down onto this ledge here and back into the afterburner. You need to go through all of these fire rings, keep your afterburner going, and land on the platform at the top where there's a wormhole which you need to drive through. Very difficult because the afterburner will spin your bike around like crazy if you're too heavy on the leaning. I find it's best to try and keep your bike in about a 30 to 45 degree angle and just work your way up. Eventually you'll get through and get the wormholing challenge. I'll show you here how easy it can be to lose out after a front flip for style. I'll go through here and it almost making it. You see it's very easy to flip. This was one of my first attempts, just about managed to get through. You can see the fire does begin to run out, and that's what cost me. I'm not in control of the bike as well as I should be, and you can see the fire does start to run out a little bit early. I'm losing momentum just as I come up to the last fire ring here. You'll see I'll lose it and just go through it, and so very close. I almost managed it. Instead it took me a long time to do. The next challenge, 1 Up, requires you to drive along this red section of the ramp without the front wheel touching the ground, and you'll see I'll make it here, but I'll make it pretty sloppily. Essentially what you want to do is sit back on the bike so that the front wheel comes up, accelerate forwards, and then essentially what will be almost bunny hopping to the top. I'll show you a cleaner version of it here. You almost bunny hopping all the way to the top when you get to the top there before you flip over. The next track is Dirt Derby, which has 3 challenges. The first one, Showman Rabbit's Run. This challenge requires you to do 15 flips while riding the rabbit. The rabbit is the BMX on Trials Fusion. This one, unlike the other flipping challenges, you don't have to do it in a 0 fault run, so don't be afraid of going for flips, which normally you'll do something like that, crash out on. The difficulty with the rabbit is it's difficult to actually pick up the speed on the ramps because obviously you're using your foot power. You can see I try and do 2 flips there, try and be clever. I'm unsure of how it saves the flips actually, whether it saves the ones after you crash or not, but I did seem to get the challenge long before I was expecting it to. There's a few easy ramps to get more than 1 flip on. You can see there I just about managed to make them flips count. There's some where you can only just make 1 flip, some where you can make an easy double. That one, not an easy double, but you can do a double flip if you want to. You can see I'm desperately trying to. Absolutely no need there, but there we go. Next section here you can get a couple of flips in. They're not the biggest of ramps though, so not the easiest, and you'll see that I'll actually get this challenge complete. There we go. So you don't have to complete a full flip, it seems. You just have to do most of the rotation. There's another couple of flips, a couple of ramps a little bit later on where you can get another couple of easy flips in. I'm going to show you in a minute. This ramp here is a very useful one because if you're very careful, you can actually do a flip and land back on the ramp, go down again, so you can get a good number of flips in on this section here. And there's an easy checkpoint earlier. There you go, get an easy ramp, flip on and land back onto it, and if not you can still do a flip over it anyway. This is after I've completed the challenge. You see you get the challenge before finishing the level on this one, unlike the other challenges. Just finish the second challenge on Dirt Derby is Ryder Cam. This challenge requires you to complete the track while using the front rider camera, and the way to unlock the front rider camera is at the very start of the map. Instead of driving straight forwards, you're going to want to reverse down this ramp here. When you do, there'll be a little warp hole which when you hit it, it'll change the camera view and you'll be looking forwards. Interesting thing to note is that when you're in the Ryder Cam, it doesn't save until you go past the first checkpoint, not the start finish line, but the first checkpoint. So you can see I have to go back and do it again after faulting. And once you've done that, it's just completing the track as normal. You don't have to do a zero fault run or anything. You just have to get past that first checkpoint really, and then just complete the track as normal. You can take as long as you want. It's not too difficult. Just need to position your bike on the ramp. It's still the same forward and left on the leaning. It controls it. It doesn't change to back and forth or anything. You can see I crashed it by landing a bit wrong. It can be difficult sometimes to judge whether you're flat or not, but it's easy enough to get even a zero fault run on this. I don't almost lost it there as well. But simple enough challenge when you get the idea of where the rider camera change warp hole is. And track completed. Rider cam. Final challenge on Dirt Derby is One Wheel Wonder. This challenge is very similar to the Observatory challenge 1-up, which requires you to go from one red line to the other without the front wheel landing on the ground. Best way to do this is to put your weight on the back wheel at the start to get the front wheel into the air, then use leading control and bunny hopping to get to the end. You go bunny hop up this ramp here, as you can see, and just swing yourself forwards and you'll get the One Wheel Wonder challenge. And plop. And the final track in Greenhorn Grove is Cliffhanger. This Cliffhanger has 3 challenges: Is It a Bird?, Secret Agent, and Unyielding 2. Sequel to Unyielding 1. The first challenge, Is It a Plane?, requires you to hold the Superman pose over the Great Canyon. The Great Canyon is halfway through the level. This ramp here leads you down to the long ramp over the canyon, and you want to hold back on the trick stick while your bike is flat, and it will do the Superman pose, and you'll see you'll get there. The second challenge in Cliffhanger is Secret Agent, which requires you to find and navigate the secret base. To open up the entrance to the secret base in a similar area to where the Is It a Plane challenges, there's a little wire going over that ramp. When you cut through it, you'll see sparks fly. That means the area is now open. You'll then want to reverse down this ramp and into the newly opened hatch, which is there. Quite luckily getting there. And then it's a slight change on to the usual Trials gameplay. Now you need to navigate a maze. And I'm sure there'll be some videos online of people going, this is the quickest way out of a maze or whatever. I usually find the best way out of a maze is to either stick to the left or stick to right. Stick to the left, you head straight back to the entrance, so just stick to right. Turn right whenever you get a chance, and you'll eventually find a way out of a maze. It's not the fastest way, but it's guaranteed to get you out. So you'll see here, I'm going to take a long time through this maze, speed it up a little bit. And you'll know you're getting close to the end of the maze as the colours change. They change from green to blue to red. When you're in the red section, you're very near the end of the maze, and I'm about to enter the exit. There it is. Challenge complete. Final challenge in Cliffhanger is Unyielding 2. It can be a very difficult challenge. You will be braking at the start of these ramps, braking to slow yourself down. Go slowly over those first 2 ramps, and then you will only really be using the accelerator on the up ramps once again on these sections. Quite fortunate, very almost lost it there. This ramp here you want to be going slowly at the start and then speed up when the ramp gets a bit steeper. I went a bit too fast early there, so you want to go slowly, and then when it gets to about here, speed up to full throttle, and hopefully you'll keep in the right position there. When you get to this section here, you want to be braking in the air again to bring your bike back forwards. I almost didn't make it there. Jump over this ramp, again accelerating at the up section of the ramp. You will go slowly and then full throttle it when you've landed on that bit. Stop here. You want to take this very carefully. You want to be going slowly until you reach almost the top of the ramp. Speed up and then let go of the throttle slightly. Land on this one. Once again, go stop and go back down to the bottom. You will be right down the bottom. Speed up at the end of the ramp. And this is the hardest one probably. I quite fortunately made it over. You want to ideally be a little bit further forwards there, but I managed to make it, and then it's just a straightforward full throttle it to the end. And there you'll get the Unyielding 2 challenge. Well, this has been Tips from Jonobrow Trials Fusion Part 1, Greenhorn Grove, completing all the challenges. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I especially hope that has helped you if you're struggling on any of these challenges. This has been Jonobrow Plays. Bye-bye.